In 1.5, number 68, we are asked to determine the intervals where the function is increasing and decreasing. We are given the g of x function. We know because it's squared, it is a quadratic or a parabola. And we know that vertex form of a parabola looks like this. F of x equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k. And in vertex form, in this case, we know that h comma k is the vertex. So in our case, we can pick out the vertex of our quadratic, and in this case, that would be -3, comma, -2 is our vertex. Keep in mind, in the original vertex form, it's x minus h. So in order to get this symbol to turn positive, that must have been a -3. Two negatives make a positive. We now have our vertex. I can also tell from the beginning of the function being positive that this parabola opens up. So if I have a graph at -3, -2, I can plot my vertex point. I do know that the graph is opening up, and although I'm not being specific with the graph, I don't need to, because to determine where it's increasing and decreasing, we only use the x values. In fact, you may just want to cross out the y value. When we're looking at the x-axis, we can see from our vertex to the right, this graph is increasing forever. So that means our x-coordinate was -3, and even though it keeps increasing, it's also getting wider and wider and wider. So it is going on to infinity. So it is increasing from -3 to infinity. Now let's talk about where it's decreasing. We read a graph like a book from the left to the right. So we can see here our graph is decreasing. And this graph started all the way up and out to our left. So it's coming from infinity and it decreases until we get to -3. Remember, we are only using your x coordinates. So it is decreasing from -infinity to -3.